Wrong to Strong was the book I read. It's a book by J.C. and an author, Eric O'Brien. But the story really was an unvarnished narrative by J.C. Many novels and books, and I've read a few, they tend to get sieved, the story, the initial story gets sieved by an author who takes notes, or the writer sits down and thinks through his story and writes it and rewrites it and rewrites it. Not this. This was unadulterated J.C. Almanza, unabashed. You could hear him in every word. The story he tells is not something I can really understand. I've lived a blessed life. I was lucky. I was adopted by beautiful people, and I lived and do live a beautiful life. It wasn't J.C.'s experience, clearly. He was on the dark side of that moon. I was on the light side. The fact that he's doing this now isn't a tribute to anything but himself and his desire to not self-promote, but to promote optimism, to promote possibilities, to promote what can be, not what was. He's not talking to people like me, he's talking to people like himself, who truthfully there are too many of those out there. He's giving them hope, in a sense. He's trying to give them hope. He's trying to paint himself exactly the way he is, the way he was, where he's going. He doesn't belie his history, he can't. He embraces it, and that's the harsh reality of it. One of the items in his book, he talks about a couple things, that the streets made him starve for more. In other words, the more power, desperation he had to experience on the streets, the more he relished it. He also talked about manipulations. Life's a manipulation. But he talks about it. He's straight with you on it. So when you read it, it's who's reading it. And the right people have to read this book. And the way he presents it, the right people will read this book, including me.
Hi, I've known JC since he got out in 2013, so it's been over 6 years now. And I want to start off by reading something from the back of his book, Wrong to Strong. Let's talk about monsters, or maybe they are demons. Everyone has them. If you think you don't, you're either lying to yourself or you've never been put to the test before. I think those are words that JC has lived by for as long as I've known him. Within the first 3 minutes, he owned his past. He owned what he had done, where he'd been from, and this was short. It wasn't an in-depth. He just said, hey, I'm a felon. And over the years, we've talked more about what he's done, and he has, in words to me and in words in the book, owned what his past is, knowing that the only way he's going to get beyond and grow is to face his demons. We all have demons, as JC says. It doesn't matter whether you've grown up on the south side of Chicago in the streets or wherever you've grown up, you have demons. Could be self-confidence, self-esteem, family relationships, personal relationships, self-confidence, job satisfaction. Whatever it might be in your life, you've got things that you've had to address or not and face and own up to. The book that JC has written talks about that. He puts it in the context of his life, but in reading it, it's a quick, easy read that you can relate to your own personal life and help you learn to face your demons.
No, never in my wildest dream would I ever think that I would be writing books.
What made you want to write a book?
I wanted to share my story to help, guys and just people like me that went through things that I went through, so I could, just shed some light and some hope on the whole deal.
What was the hardest part about writing this book?
Hardest part was opening up those doors again to remembering certain parts of my life that I had tried to forget my whole life, and pretty much just remembering in detail everything to be able to put that on paper and actually get my message out the way I was trying to.
Did you write this book for anyone?
Everything I'm doing now is for my kids. It's something that I want to leave my kids and, hope that one day they see that, yeah, you know, my dad did fuck up his life, but at the end he came back, you know, and conquered everything, and you know, and left us this legacy pretty much, Wrong and Strong.